Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
Hello!
Welcome to a very special review on Up From the Underground. This was actually something that I discovered very recently, and being a fan of this specific thing, I felt that this would be a great reason to make a small mini-series of reviews throughout the rest of 2016. One of my interests that I don't really showcase often on my show is my love of video games. I have been playing video games ever since I was a little kid, all the way back when I first got my Nintendo Entertainment System. But before I go into what we're going to be reviewing today, there comes a little bit of a story. Just in case you're new to my channel, welcome. And also, if you don't know this, I actually am getting married in August. And last year, when I proposed to my fiancée, she said to me that I'm going to get you something very special for your birthday. And she definitely didn't disappoint, because she got me this. A special edition 3DS XL, which has the old Nintendo control pad on the front. And along with that, her parents got me my very first game for the 3DS, and that is one of my all-time favorite games from the N64, probably my favorite video game of all time, The Legend of Zelda, The Ocarina of Time Remastered Edition for the 3DS. Now, why am I reviewing this video game specifically, as well as a couple of others later on this year? Because I realized that this year, 2016, marks the 30th anniversary of the original release of The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So what would be a better way to celebrate than talking about The Legend of Zelda, The Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. So let's continue on with this review, and you can listen to my lovely voice as we take a closer look into the video game. So if you were a fan of the Ocarina of Time before, let me tell you, you are going to adore this version. Nintendo went all out to really give the fans of this game something special. Not only was it one of the first Nintendo games to give us the open world, but it was also one that gave us a fantastic story. This story was so significant that it actually is a pivotal point today in the Zelda timeline, because not only did it create one timeline, not even two timelines, but the outcome of this game apparently determines 3 separate Zelda timelines. But enough about the story. The game itself is absolutely fantastic. They went into so much effort to give us a game that we knew and loved for a whole new generation, as well as for fans who had not played it for a very long time. The graphics were hyped up tremendously. Everything from the textures of the backgrounds, the facial expressions of the characters, and the fluidity of the motion of everything in the game. They also did do a couple of minor changes in regards to streamlining certain temples that people were frustrated with in the past, as well as certain ways to acquire certain items, and also a couple of other bonus features. And not only was this an open world with a linear timeline, it also gave you the ability to actually go and do side quests. Anything that can give you things from heart containers for your life, to Skulltula coins for certain prizes, as well as additional weapons upgrades throughout the game, which are usually very advantageous. Also, with the use of the 3DS, you have the ability to really use the dual screen to your advantage, because you have the ability, by using your DigiPen, to take a good look at your items, rather than having to pause the game and switching through different screens, saving the game as often as possible, and looking at your map in a much easier manner. Also, we have the Z targeting, which was a great advantage in the game, which gave you the opportunity to kill enemies by targeting them right away, as well as even switching to the first-person shooter. The music is also something that truly drives this game. The music is so amazing, and all of it blended together makes it feel like the most epic game that you have ever played. So much, in fact, that it's practically cinematic. But through all of that, are there some disadvantages to this game? On the 3DS, believe it or not, there are a couple. First of all, even though they did make changes to one of the most frustrating levels, which is the Water Temple, it still is one of the more tedious dungeons, just because of the fact that it's all about solving block puzzles and switch puzzles that just could waste so much more time, rather than having you go through other temples in the game. The Z targeting can also be a little bit hard, as well as the control pad itself for motioning, because it's a tiny little thumb toggle, and sometimes it is difficult in regards to maneuvering your character, Link. I had a couple of frustrations with some of the bonus games, like the fishing round, because I just wasn't able to put my thumb and get enough grip onto the little toggle pad, so it's just something that can frustrate you if you can't seem to get comfortable, because the other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to break your machine. And of course, everybody is not too thrilled about the fact that Navi is still in the game with the hey, hey, listen, listen, but that's neither here nor there. Is this still a great game? Guys, this is one of the best video games that you will ever play, especially if you haven't played it before. If you are a Zelda fan, you will be absolutely hooked. And when you put that game down and finish it all, you're going to want to pick that game up and play it again. Just because of everything that's in it and how much tender love and care was put into this game way back in 1998 and in the remastered edition to really make it one of the better video games in all video game history. And it's because of a game like Ocarina of Time I'm really excited to finishing up this game and going on to the next adventure. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you haven't played this game, you must. I would love to also see what you have to say about this video game, or any other Zelda game for that matter. So put your comments in the box below and let's have a discussion about The Legend of Zelda and the Ocarina of Time. And I'll see you in a couple of months when we review another Zelda game, and I'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.